Okay, welcome back. Here we go on part 2 of today's lesson from page 802. It's a different task. We're going to take an angle that's in degrees and we're going to change it into radians, and then we're going to switch it back. Okay, so what is a radian? Well, once upon a time we had a circumference formula that looked like this. Of course, if the radius was 1, like it is on the unit circle, we would have the circumference just be 2 pi. So what that means is once around the circle would be 2 pi. So if you think about that's a pretty good circle. If you think about your circle, if we went this way in standard position, we would get 360 degrees right there. Let's blow that up a little bit. We would get 360 degrees. So out here we could write 360, but it's also going to be referred to in 2 pi radians. So we know 360 is 2 pi. So there's two formulas for these. This one right here, from degrees to radians, you just want to multiply by pi over 180. And for radians to degrees, you want to multiply by 180 over pi. So you'll need to know these formulas. You're going to get to use these notes on your test, so they'll be on there someplace. So look right here, if you see pi in it, you know it's in radians. So I want to switch this to degrees. So I use this formula right here. Say it out loud in your room, wherever you're doing this, radians to degrees. Because if you see one in radians, look here, this little pi goes into that little pi once. And so in degrees, this would be 180 cut in 4 pieces. Well, that's half twice. This is going to be 45 degrees is going to be the answer. Just reduce that, and you would get 45. So some of these problems, they're going to give them to you in radians. Look at number 9. They give it to you in degrees. So my formula for degrees, to change from degrees to radians, is to multiply by pi over 180. It's just the opposite of this. Okay, so let's see, the answer is going to be negative, so just make sure you get a negative out here. This is just, we're going clockwise instead of counter. Okay, let's see. We're probably going to have a pi in the answer. Let's see, knock a 0 off of each one. 4 and 18 are both even. Cut them in half, there's your answer. Now, if that was too fast for you, that's okay. Take your calculator, do 40, divide by 180, enter, math, enter, and you get 2 9ths. So negative 2 pi over 9 would be your answer. Okay, moving right along. Here's 330. This one's in degrees. We want to switch it to radians. Let's see. Knock a 0 off. Divide that one by 3. Divide this one by 3. How about 11 pi over 6? We're done. It's really pretty easy. This one's in radians, so I flipped my formula. Look at this, the pi's go away, keep the negative, 3 into 18, that's 6, 3 into 0, that's 0. There's that one, we're good on it. And 29, we want to switch this. We're going to change it to whichever one it's not. So if it's degrees, we want to do radians. So look at this, knock a 0 off, that's division by 10, 19 pi over 18, 19 over 18 doesn't reduce. So there we go on those. So I did some of the selected odds. You finish all of these up, and right now we'll show you what they look like. Okay, so it looks like you're going to have to get 8. There it is right there, 225. And then over here, we want to do, here's this other bank. Where are you? There we go. We just did 190 right here. So I did these 3. Change this one to degrees, this one to radians, keep the negative, that one to degrees. And you should be okay on it, and we'll